No matter what, people will commit to misunderstanding you. What's most important is your commitment to understanding yourself. Hello, you guys. My name is Inkirka Madani, known as NK, and welcome back to Misunderstood, your dating rules. Today, we are talking about dating, finally. This is a topic that has been high on my list to tap into, and this is just the beginning. We are going to be going over so many aspects of dating over the course of this podcast. But I wanted to put together a list of some of my dating rules. I tried my best to think of everything, and I know I am forgetting something, but let's start with this list. Let's start with certain aspects around dating, primarily in the early stages of dating, that are rules. At least they are mine. Again, disclaimer, these are my rules. Take it or leave it, implement it or not. But these are things that I do, and maybe I'm just trying to convince you to do it as well. But here we go. Number 1, don't follow guys on social media. I do not follow guys on social media. Maybe it is the I hate men trope. But personally, when I don't even know you, I'm not going to follow you. This is also coming from a sphere of working in social media. So I only follow people who are related to my industry and people who I've personally talked to face to face. Those are the people who I follow. That's my truth, and I stand on it. So for guys, especially if I don't know you at all, I'm not sorry. I'm not going to follow you because I don't need that energy, especially if you haven't proven to me that we're even going to continue on in this. It's too early to tell. This is obviously different when I've been going out with a guy for a very long time. We're in boyfriend-girlfriend category status. Completely different scenario, completely different conversation. I am talking about people who I just met and I don't know much about. I'm not following you on social media, probably not letting you follow me on social media, or I'm giving you my personal account, which I don't even check, so I don't even care. Number 2, never pull your card out. Ladies, hear me when I say this. You are not paying for anything. Hot take, maybe, but you really shouldn't be paying for any dates. If the guy wants you, and if the guy wants you to be there, he's paying, no question. On the first date, it is so common sense for the guy to pay. I don't even know why there is any type of discourse about this, but there is a lot of discourse about it, which pisses me off. Hypothetically, we're on a date. We're wrapping up the date. The guy's asking for the check and the guy's putting his card down and we move on. Personally, I always say thank you because I think that's the right thing to do. Say thank you because yes, he is paying. He should be paying, but it is nice to say thank you. But other than that, don't even touch your bag. Don't even do anything that would elicit you trying to pay. No, please don't do that. Don't do that. Stop. You spent all your time getting ready. That is currency in and of itself. Also, your presence at the date is an additional currency. You just sit there, you add value to the conversation because that's what we always do, and you move on. Number 3, the guy buys you your car ride home. There should not be a debate on this. There should absolutely not be a debate on this matter. I have personally been in a few situations where a guy hasn't offered me a ride home or has not taken that initiative, which lets me know that they're not my person and they aren't here for the long haul and we're probably not going to go the distance, and that's okay. Let me say this very clearly. It's okay to just go on a date and have fun. There's nothing wrong with that. Even if on the date you think that you're never going to see this person again, that's also okay. But if you feel such a connection with a person on the first date, which I have felt in a lot of ways in the past, the guy is probably feeling that mutual attraction and that mutual connection, and they will offer your ride home, ladies. It's as simple as that. If he doesn't offer, he's probably just not that into you, and that's okay. Because that honestly saves you time and stress because you can just go another date with another guy. There was a time where I went on 2 dates in 24 hours, one on a Friday night, one on a Saturday night. I really liked one of the guys and then I didn't really like the other guy. And the guy I really liked, he offered to get my ride home. It's as simple as that. I understand there is also a lot of discourse about being in a place like New York and having a guy get your ride home. The subway exists. That's what a lot of people like to chime in on. I see the validity of that. However, the offer is still important. No confirmation, no date. This rule would have saved me a lot of heartache earlier in my 20s. I also want to emphasize that these rules I've gathered over many, many years of dating in San Francisco, in New York so far. This is how I feel right now as a 30-year-old. A lot of these things I didn't do early in my 20s because I didn't have the capacity for understanding how to be treated well. I'll be honest. I took a lot of shit from a lot of guys, unfortunately, and you bet your ass I will never do that again. So with that, no confirmation, no date. This really all goes back to if a guy wants you there, he will make it so apparently clear. He will triple confirm with you on the time, on the place. If he wants to pick you up, if he wants to send you a car, he will make it so damn clear. If you do not hear from the person the day of your date, and personally, I think even the night before your date, if you do not hear from the person, you are not going on that date. You should not go on that date. I've made that mistake so many times, unfortunately, but here I am learning and growing as we all are. Number 5, no plan, no date. Why do guys think it is okay to half-ass plans, to make last-minute plans? It's not okay. If you can't plan a date, this isn't gonna work. This isn't going to go the distance, because if you can't do the most simple act of planning a date. Honestly, planning a date is very simple. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Don't give excuses. It is simple to go make a reservation somewhere, because that's literally what it is, just making a reservation. If you can't do that, if you can't put thought into a date, there's no date. If you think that the first date is going to be hanging out at your house and, quote, Netflix and chill, you're ridiculous and there's no date. Ladies, we cannot be falling for these bare minimum efforts from men. It's not okay. Number 6, bridging off of what we just spoke about, no day of dates. It's insane when a guy tries to literally ask you on a date for the day of. That shows a lot of things. That shows bare minimum. That shows no planning. That shows no real interest. And a lot of guys have tried to tell me that their urgency of wanting a day of date shows that they care. No, it actually doesn't, because you aren't taking into account her, the person who you are asking on a date. You are being selfish with a day of date. I stand on that. People need time to plan, and people need time to decide if they even want to go on a date with you, to be honest. No day of dates. If a guy ever asks you on a day of date, you can either say no. I think it's perfectly normal to also just ghost them. And I know ghosting isn't great. And I have said that on a past podcast episode. But if you don't know them very well, especially if this is so early stages, then ghosting is okay. In that specific instance, it's not okay all the time, but there are times where ghosting is warranted. Number 7, if you don't message me, it's not meant to be. This is talking about the dating apps. I hate them so much. I'll talk about that for 1 second. Why I hate dating apps so much is because it just feels so disingenuous. It just feels so awkward, not a realistic sense of what dating really is. The essence of dating is stripped away when you're on the apps. There's so much volume with the amount of people who are on the apps. It just feels like you are going in an endless hamster wheel and you're never getting to where you want to go. And it's really disheartening, especially for people like me who are super intentional, who are highly emotionally intelligent to the point of apps feel like a complete disregard to people like me. It feels like a game, and I don't want dating to feel like a game. I just want to meet someone great. Through all of the people who I've met in New York so far, unfortunately, half of them have been lackluster and half of them have been shitty. And I met most of them on dating apps. So there is this correlation about dating apps and the negativity surrounding them that I just don't love. Personally, I know dating apps work for a lot of people, and power to you, go off, that's great. But not everyone thrives on dating apps. A lot of people don't thrive on dating apps. A lot of people, most people actually crave personal connections, in real life connections. So with that, if you don't message me, it's not meant to be. If I swipe on you and it's a match, you should be messaging me first. I have to say it. I believe that the woman should always be pursued. That can be a hot take. I will stand 10 toes down on that one. That is my truth. The woman should be pursued. And if you don't want to pursue the woman, fine. That just fully validates that she's not for you, because a man who wants a woman will make it so apparent there will be no confusion ever. Number 8, 48 hours and an Irish goodbye. If you don't know what an Irish goodbye means, it literally just means essentially ghosting, not saying bye to them to their face, quietly exiting the situation. I give them 48 hours. I think this one more so applies to when you've gone out on a date with somebody. It's been over 48 hours since you've heard from them. You can just comfortably assume that it isn't going anywhere. And you just exit the situation. You remove yourself quietly. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to make a whole scene. Just Irish goodbye. If they try to reach out to you later, obviously you can use discernment and do whatever you want. But personally, if a guy lets 48 hours go by after a date and says nothing, he wasn't that into me to begin with, and I'm better off walking away. Number 9, if you are confused, move on. This one has been a really hard one to accept over the years. I fully accept it now, but in my early mid-20s, I was really struggling with this because there were so many guys who made me feel really special. There were so many guys who seemed like they really, really liked me. There was this one guy, I do have to tell this story, this one guy who I met when I was 24. Was I 24? Yes, I met him when I was 24, and we had this long-standing saga of hooking up. From 24 to 28, I was involved with this guy. I met him in San Francisco, met him on a dating app. He treated me like shit half of the time, but then treated me like I was the most important girl in the world the other half. It was very confusing. But I was so young and so impressionable. And honestly, at the time, I just wanted male attention. And I say that with my full chest because that's the truth. That's what I wanted at the time. Because at the time, I tied a lot of my self-worth to whether a guy thought I was hot, through whether a guy wanted to be with me. It was very toxic back then, but we are so far removed from that now. Half of the time with him, I was really confused. We would have a lot of car rides where I remember crying, literally crying in the passenger seat of his car while we're driving around at night in San Francisco saying, "Why don't you like me? How do I know if you like me? I'm confused." If I have an internal feeling of already being confused, that is my answer. Your answer is always that gut feeling in your stomach telling you that something's wrong and you need to listen to it. It's so hard when feelings are involved though. I'm not trying to discount that. I'm trying to make that very clear, actually. When feelings are involved, that is way easier said than done. But that confusion will sit in you forever until you address it. But here's the thing, you don't even have to address it to them. I think that's the harder part too. When you're confused, you don't have to address it with them. This one, take this with a grain of salt. I think that statement applies to how long you've known the person and how long you've been involved with them. If you're confused right off the bat, that's your answer. Move on. If you've been in the situation for a while, let's say over a month, 2 months, definitely a conversation is warranted. Feel free and feel empowered to bring it up. A lot of times we do feel scared to bring up things that are uncomfortable and things that make us feel not so great. But by staying silent, we aren't helping ourselves. We're literally just exacerbating the problem. Number 10, let them. Let them be a fuckboy if they're a fuckboy. Let them be a bad communicator if they're a bad communicator. You don't have to take shit from anyone though. Here's the thing. Letting them means let them be who they are, because you don't want a facade. You don't want to be tricked. So let them be exactly who they are. Do not try to mold them into the person you want them to be, because that's disingenuous. Let them be exactly who they are, see them for exactly who they are, and take them for exactly who they are. Because the sooner you let them be who they are and accept that version of them, the quicker you can move on with your life. I had a very long-standing situationship with a guy here in New York. I met him 3 months into moving to New York back in 2023. There was so much toxicity, unfortunately, and I really liked him. I liked him a lot. I abandoned a lot of the things that were important to me because of him, because I was excited, which is obviously not great. I know better now, but 90% of our fights and arguments were because he was doing things that I hated. He was doing things that I was not happy with. He was a horrible communicator. He drank a lot, and those things were not aligning with who I am at my core. But I stayed around him. I was such an optimist to a fault. I thought maybe I could change him. Maybe I could make him a better version of himself so that he was more palatable. That was the extreme wrong approach on my end. I stayed in a situation that was wrong, knowingly wrong. Deep down, I knew that it was wrong. I knew. I'm not stupid. I'm a lover girl, but I'm not stupid. I knew that it was wrong, but I wanted to try time and time again to circumvent all the things that I did not love about him, which hurt me in the end because the saga literally spanned over a year. There was a lot of heartache because of that, when at the end of the day, I could have just let him be who he was and walk away because I knew that I deserved better. Number 11, no pen pals. This goes back to the dating apps, which we hate, at least I do. I cannot get behind guys who just want to incessantly talk all the time, mind you, without even meeting yet. There's been so many guys who I have never even met in person, but they send me novels and novels. I think that is so weird and so strange. I don't care how interesting you think the conversation is. It is strange. You're talking with someone who you actually don't know in person. You don't know what they're like in person. You don't know their mannerisms. You don't know their tone. You don't know anything other than what's on the screen. That also makes me think of catfishing, which scares the shit out of me. I've never been catfished. Hopefully we'll never be catfished. And I feel so bad for people who are catfish. That just changes your brain chemistry in such a negative way. It makes you lack trust, understandably. But anyways, back to the pen pals. We're not having any of that. We are doing a quick discernment of what we want. We can quickly decide if we want to pursue this person. This is kind of a subpart of this rule. On dating apps, if we exchange 2 rounds of messages, he's asking me on a date, or I'm not doing it. I'm not even going to talk with him further. There's no point. Because I'm not here for a pen pal. I'm here to find my boyfriend. I'm here to hopefully find my person. I'm not wasting time. And a lot of people might think, oh, well, why do you think that's a waste of time? It's a waste of time because I know that my person wouldn't do this. I would know that my person wouldn't treat me like this. And I also know that there are so many people in this world. So why waste my time on someone who thinks it's okay to send me novels of text messages instead of planning a damn date? Number 12, girl, get up and walk away. This is primarily talking about when you're on a date and you feel uncomfortable. And I never want any of you guys to feel uncomfortable because there's no tolerance for that. If you feel uncomfortable, literally get up and walk away. If you feel scared for your safety, which God forbid, but if you feel scared for your safety, make eyes with the server, go to the bathroom, talk with somebody, call a friend, share your location. Girl, get up and walk away if you ever feel uncomfortable during a date. No one should ever make you feel uncomfortable on a date. Hell no. I wish I had taken this advice many times in my earlier mid-20s where I was in a few scary situations that warranted me to literally just get up and walk away. But now I am older and wiser and smarter and know that it is okay to get up and walk away. I don't owe this person any of my time and any of my energy if I am feeling uncomfortable. If this person is making me feel uncomfortable, zero tolerance. You do not owe them your time. You do not owe them your energy. Number 13, 2 drink max. This is something I'm adopting now. Can't say that I adopted this at any point in time before 2025. I will be so for real. I used to get really drunk on dates, and it was more so a defense mechanism to not feel so nervous on dates. As we know, drinking lowers your inhibitions and it makes you feel more loose and more comfortable for the most part, which is just scientifically backed. However, when we drink too much on a date, we can start to confuse a connection with just being drunk. There have been a few guys that I've gone on dates with where I am really proud of myself when I have only had 1 or 2 drinks because I can clearly understand them. I am seeing things with so much clarity to the point of really understanding them as a person, really being receptive to what they're saying. Also, me being able to articulate myself better when I am not drunk. I think it just makes things a lot less messy. I also just think 2 drinks is the perfect amount to still feel like you're having a good time, but not getting so drunk to the point of maybe going home with somebody if you actually don't want to, or confusing your connection with this person when you might not have the connection that you think you have because you're intoxicated. Number 14, only say yes to people you're actually attracted to. I laugh at myself because I look at my 20s-year-old version me, and I've done some silly stuff, but we learn from our mistakes and we grow from them. Half of the time I've said yes to dates, it's because I was bored, because I didn't have anyone else who I was talking to and I just wanted to go on a date. I wasn't even fully attracted to them. There were times where I just wanted a free dinner or a free drink, which, again, not great reasons to go on a date with somebody. Do I even like the person? Do I feel a connection with the person right off the bat? Let me tell you, when you feel a connection with somebody right off the bat, even just seeing photos of them and getting butterflies and getting, tingly down there, that's chemistry. That's called being attracted to someone. And you should feel like that before you go on a date with somebody. Why waste your time on going on a date with somebody who isn't really your type, who you don't feel those sparks and don't feel those butterflies with? What is the point? You can buy yourself dinner. You can take yourself to nice places. It should not be about that. It should be about actually connecting and having chemistry with the person who you are literally getting dressed up to go spend an hour, 2 hours with. Also, I think it makes the dates so much more fun. When I am on a date with a guy who I think is so hot, like I want to touch him respectfully. I want to lean closer to him. I like when his hand is on my thigh. And then I'm anticipating the kiss, because the kiss is obviously going to be great because I'm already so attracted to you and we're having good banter and we're feeling each other. It just makes the dating experience so much more fun. The dating experience should be fun, first of all. It should not feel like a chore. And number 15, know your motives beforehand. This is extremely important. You need to understand your lens in which you are viewing dating. Do you want a boyfriend? Do you want to just go have fun and hook up with people? Do you want to network? There's so many different avenues that you can take your dating journey. Personally, right now, for me, I've said this before, I've said this very openly, I'm dating to find a boyfriend. I am dating because I am ready for finding my person. I've been single for 4 years intentionally because I know what I want and I'm not confused anymore. And I'm not going to take shit from guys anymore. And I'm not going to put myself in situations that are not benefiting me. And I'm ready for a partnership and I'm ready to be treated like a princess. Those are my motives. What are yours? Literally take out a piece of paper, write down what your motives are. Write down what you want before the date. It's important to do this before each date, or maybe just have a running list, but look at that before each date because you want to be really clear within yourself. This is not something that you have to tell the person on the first date, but you need to know this going into a date so that you know how to move through the date. So it is as enjoyable for you as it can be. Because like I said, dating should be fun. And overall, these 15 rules I stated are to protect you. I'm in your corner. This is for you. I'm literally making this for you to understand that dating should be fun. Dating is a process that can be very overwhelming and very disheartening at times, but there is so much fun to be had on dates. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to find people who align with you. You deserve to have butterflies, and you deserve everything you want in your dating journey. And I really hope that these 15 steps helped you in some way. Take these rules, go forth, and have an amazing dating journey. You got this. And with that, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Misunderstood. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on the show and follow the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Hang out with me on my other socials, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at nkmadani. And I will talk to you guys in my next one.